Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by my channel today. I'm Elizabeth and we're going to do a little experiment today because someone asked the other day about Temu resin and is it the same quality as kind of resin that we would buy on Amazon or from a more local manufacturer? And honestly, I have no idea. I've never, until now, I have never purchased any resin off of Temu. I've always been really hesitant because we're talking about a chemical reaction and it I've always been a little nervous about it, I guess. So I thought, you know what, we'll give it a try. So I bought this off of Temu. This is 80 ounces total, so 20 or 40 in part A, 40 in part B. And it was, I think it was like $15. And then, so it's 80 ounces, $15. And I normally buy J Diction. I think I buy the gallon, which is 128 ounces. And that's usually like 40-ish dollars. So when you do the math, I think this ended up being 20 cents. And I think my J Diction's usually 31 cents, something like that per ounce, depending on if there are coupons or things like that. So definitely this was a lot cheaper. If you look at per ounce cost, I mean, it's, 11 cents cheaper per ounce. So definitely less expensive, but I don't know if it's what the quality's like. So we're going to find out a little bit about this resin. I had to go and do some research. The pamphlet that it came with was not super helpful. It came with some just minimal information, nothing too helpful, honestly. But in looking online, I found that the working time is about 40 minutes, which is a good work time. And it's supposed to be low odor or no odor. We'll see if that's really the case. And it actually came with a kit, which I wasn't really looking for, but I mean, who's going to complain about getting a few extra supplies? So it came with some cups, it came with pumps, it came with some gloves, and I don't even know what this stuff is. Disposable aprons. So I'm not sure if anybody uses those. I don't, but it did come with this handy dandy, actually two handy dandy little scrapers, which are always nice to have. So that was kind of a nice little treat to get a few extras with your resin. I know sometimes depending on which resin you buy, it does come with, I know when I buy my 4-hour from J Diction, it always comes with scraper sticks, things like that. But this did come with some cups. So I figured let's just give it a try and see. So I thought we would do this mold today. It's a classic. Everybody's seen it. And it's so cute. And my daughter is obsessed with cats. We have more than one, more than two. So we will just leave it at that. So my daughter's obsessed with cats. And so I thought I would make this for her. I think I'm going to do this just in basic black. And then we'll come back in on the opposite side once it's all cured. And then we can paint in the pieces on the front. So let's get started. And let's see what happens. So I'm going to glove up and, respirate up and all that. Then I'll be back to you. So I mixed up 7 ounces, 3.5 of A, 3.5 of B, threw in some black pigment paste, and now I'm putting in some black glitter from PDB Creative Studio. It's called Nevermore, and it is stunning. I was a little bit on the fence about adding glitter to this, but I can't make something without glitter in it. It's just kind of the law. I know it's going to sink, but that's okay. I'm not too worried about that. And check out this glitter. It is so pretty. It is black and blue and purple. I think it has some little stars in it. That's from Peachy Olive Glitters. And stunning, stunning, stunning glitter. Absolutely love it. So even if it falls through on the face, I think I'm going to be okay with that. So now that I'm watching the recording back and doing the voiceover for it, because I hate when people try to talk through their respirator. There are very few people who can be clearly heard through their respirator, and it always sounds like this, and I hate it. So I would prefer to do a voiceover just so you're not cringing and struggling with what is she saying. Anyway, so I have so many molds that I've never made. This is also one of them. I've had it for ages and just never got around to making it. So when I was looking through what I was going to do to test this resin, I was like, oh, this is kind of perfect. I've never made it. My daughter loves cats. We have more than two. and we happen to have a black cat who is my daughter's favorite. So I thought, gosh, this is perfect. I said all of that in like 8,000 words when I could have said 20 to say that I've never made this mold and I'm not entirely sure if you're supposed to pour in all of those pieces over on the left-hand side. And what I mean by that is to the left of the cat, there are 3 separate cavities. And you'll see that I pour the big one and then I pour the one above that. But then I was like, I don't know if I pour this other one. It probably would have been good for me to go and look at someone else's video to see exactly how they poured it and how they put it together when all was said and done. But that would require like forethought and planning, and that is definitely not my gift. Anyway, I didn't pour it. And now that I have no idea actually if it should be poured or not, because I am doing this voiceover long before this is even cured. But now I look at this video and go, I wonder if I should have poured that part. You know what? We'll find out tomorrow. So I had quite a bit of resin left over, and so I decided I got this mold, I don't know, a while back. I know that seems to be a trend. I got this mold a while back. I think it was from Hobby Lobby, of all places. They typically don't have the greatest mold selection. And so anyway, I got this lock and key mold. So there are keys on the left and then these locks on the right. And they're really cute. So I thought we would take our extras and just pour into those molds and see what they turn out like. Now, what you do with them once they're demolded, that I haven't quite figured out yet. If anybody's done this mold, let me know what you did with them, because I think it's adorable, but I am at a loss as to its practicality. Okay, so I digress. This resin, you know how I said that they said that it was odorless? Yeah, that's not true. I feel like I have a very different opinion on what odorless means than what a lot of these manufacturers say odorless means. One of the resins I tried not too long ago, it also, I think it said low odor. I don't think it said odorless. I think it said low odor. Yeah, it was not. It was highly unpleasant. This resin also. So I wear a respirator, so I had no idea how bad it smelled until I took my respirator off and was like closing up my studio. And it's not the most horrendous smell I've ever smelled from resin. However, it's pretty strong. So I think it's a bit of a stretch to say that it's odorless. And something else that's a little bit weird about this resin as I'm using it is when I spritzed it with alcohol, I got like, you know how if you have like an oil slick and you have the rainbows in it, it kind of does that. And it's that effect that you get when you have mica powder and you pour resin in and then the mica powder kind of floats to the back. That's what it looks like when I spray it with alcohol, but there's no mica powder in this. There's pigment paste, which was mixed in thoroughly, and then the 2 glitters. So I'm not sure what that's all about. I've never had that happen before unless I was using mica powder. So it'll be interesting to see when we demold what the front looks like. So with this resin, they say that the ideal temperature is between 70 and 80, and that 65 is the minimum. We're going to test that because my studio is about 50 degrees. I use the J-Diction High Gloss for almost everything that I do, and I do it in my studio when it's much colder than that. And while it does take longer to cure, I never have any issues with blush or it not curing or anything like that. So this will be an interesting comparison to see if there's any types of issue with it curing in a cooler temperature. Okay, well, I'm going to wrap this up for today, and I will see you. They say 10 hours, so I'm guessing probably closer to 24 because of the temperature difference. So I'll see you in like 24 hours, and we'll see how this resin turns out. So it's been a few days, but that's okay because these are fully cured. I did check them after like 12 hours, and they were cured completely. So I was really surprised that they cured as well as they did. So let's see what they look like. So I gotta say, like, I'm really surprised actually at the quality of this resin. There are no bubbles in here. I mean, not one. Not one. I mean, not one. Which is kind of astonishing, to be honest, given how cold it was. And I mean, all I did was run a stick around the sides. That was it. So, wow. Okay. So far, even though it says it's no odor, and it has an odor, I think this is really pretty. It turned out great. Okay, well, let's check out our locks too while we're at it. Should have poured some keys while I was at that. I just didn't think that through very clearly. Okay, I mean, kind of basic. Not as cute as I thought they might be. Yeah, same. Yeah, yeah. The inside of the mold, I don't know. It's just it looks kind of matte. So yeah, it's kind of weird. And you probably can't really see it. But the outside of the lock is shiny, but those inlays are matte, and it just makes it look really dirty. Like, it looks dirty to me. I think, are they supposed to be holographic maybe? I don't know. They just look dirty. Okay, well, I don't love those, but that's okay. We'll move these out of the way for now, because this cat's amazing. And I have to say, I'm super impressed with that resin right now. I was not expecting that to be the case. So that's kind of exciting. Okay, so about 1 million years ago, I bought this. I don't think I've ever really used it, but they're pouring paints. We have gold, a white, pearl, purple. Like, I think this is the only gold color. So let's give this one a try and see how it goes. If we don't like it, just rub it off. If I have to get a thicker paint, I can get a thicker paint. Okay, let's see what happens. It's actually really pretty, a lot prettier than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be kind of low-key ugly. All right, let's see. Just put a drop in there. Grab my little micro brush. I think it's just going to be too watery because it's made for acrylic pouring. It's just so thin because of what it's meant to do. And I don't think it's really going to stay where it's supposed to stay. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't know. I think what I'm going to do is just see what happens on this part. It's just that it's so darn thin. Just don't think it's going to work. I think we're going to have to get a thicker paint, which is fine because who does not need a trip to the craft store? I mean, come on. Who does not need a trip to the craft store? Well, probably none of us, but okay. So that's actually really pretty. I just don't know if it's going to dry right. And I don't want to necessarily like dive in and do all of it and then find out it doesn't work well. So how about we leave this, see how it dries, and then we can come back and reevaluate. If I see that it's not working, then I will get a different paint and we'll reevaluate. So I'm going to set this off to the side and then we'll come back to it. Okay, so it does look like this actually worked, which I was kind of surprised about, but it actually did. So I think we can go ahead and do the rest and see how it looks. this is all finished. I was really surprised that this paint, so it's the acrylic pouring paint, that it actually worked because it's super thin. But I feel like it actually did a really nice job. And honestly, this resin, once again, really surprised that it turned out as well as it did. Completely no bubbles, and I did not even vacuum chamber it. So no bubbles, and yeah, I think this is absolutely beautiful. So thank you guys so much for stopping by today. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you watching these videos. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. And I hope to see you next time.